can you do?
All right, our pace car now pulling in, and here's Russ with the call.
Nice and easy, side by side. Here they come. Green, blue, run from by themselves. Kenny Johnson with car number 53 as Wainwright drops way off the pace in the 44th. Down the backstretch they go. Watch them shorten this one out. Nice and easy. Into turn number 3, they build a little heat in those tires. Off the 4th turn, back down to the line they come. It is Kenny Johnson, followed by Pat Shambo, Mike Christopher, Jerry Savage, and Bobby Georgitis. Off the 2nd turn, a little love tap from Chambrello on the rear bumper of Johnson. Just says, Kenny, I'm here. Mike Christopher also knocking at the door with car number 82. Johnson, Chambrello, Christopher, Georgitis, Savage, and the one of Paquette. All of these cars running bumper to bumper, nose to tail, off the 2nd turn. Down the back straightaway they go.
Tom Tagg moving up a notch. He takes over the number 5 spot from Jerry Savage. As they're heading once again into turn 2, Jerry Savage caught up on the outside groove. And a little shuffling of the deck down low. Here we go.
Chuck Marshall, the alternate rally to the event, has now pulled in as obviously his car was not needed to round up the field. The 53 of Johnson continues to set the pace. Pat Chambrello runs in the 2nd spot, but look at them swapping positions back behind the 2 leaders. They run side by side up on the high side. It is the 3 of Tagg. Down on the low side, the 82 of Christopher. Off the turn they come, and Tagg grabs the spot halfway around up on the high side.
Well, certainly give credit to Kenny Johnson running the race of the season for him, and the 53 now being challenged by Chambrello, who also looks very strong tonight.
Both of those drivers doing a real heads-up job as they exit turn 4. Back down to the line they come. Johnson and Chambrello. Tagg, Christopher, Paquette. 86 of Bobby Georgitis, and the 13 of Ted Christopher. Now, some of the drivers we still haven't heard from yet up front. Richie Gallup, Bo Gunning. Those guys have a long, long way to go. Certainly, Richie Gallup does, in fact, emerge.
And Bob Potter works his way out of the pack behind him. So don't count Bob out. He's a very patient man. And now he's starting to wheel out trouble on the backstretch.
It appears to be the Chambrello car going around, losing a wheel. Also involved appears to be the Tom Tagg car. Tom pulls down off the racetrack.
Wow, a tough break for Tom. He was moving nicely through the field until that development. Now,
and a real tough break for Pat Chambrello. You can see the wheel and tire for that automobile had worked its way right around near the 4th turn. And that's a real shame, as Pat was running very, very, very well tonight. And green is out as they exit 4. Down to the line they come. Kenny Johnson and Mike Christopher side by side. Into turn 1 they go. Christopher grabs the lead off the high groove. And as they head down the back straightaway, Michael now begins to stretch it out just a little bit. Johnson maintains the 2nd spot. Ted Christopher still trying to work his way through, as is Bo Gunning, Bob Potter, and Steve Jawanski. Mike Christopher looking to pick up yet another win. A long and very, very solid career behind the wheel of the Winston Racing Series Modified.
well, certainly another 3-2. Uh-oh. And it looks like Paquette going around in the number 1. And somebody else going up against the barrier. Can't quite tell right now who that might be.
Surprisingly enough, in spite of all of the wins that Mike Christopher has had, traction.
Well, now, as we mentioned earlier, Russ, see what's happening? The quiet man, Bob Potter, is up to 5th place. and working his way up nicely in the 51, so keep an eye on him.
Okay, we're back under green, and it is once again Mike Christopher along with Eddie Johnson. And Eddie drops down way low, makes contact with Georgitis, but they're okay. Eddie now puts the hammer down and pulls right in on the rear bumper of his brother. Does not waste a second and immediately looks to the outside groove. Off of 4 down to the line. Mike and Ted, the brothers Christopher, side by side as they work their way through 1 and 2.
Meanwhile, Ken Johnson has his hands full with Richie Gallup, who has broken out of the pack also. Gallup in the 31 now looks to the inside of Johnson. Let's see if he makes the move. Meanwhile, up front, here they come side by side.
And this time at the line, it's going to be scored as Eddie lap. He had an advantage of about a radiator cap and a half. But Mike is not giving up one single square inch. They are almost glued together. Through 3 and 4, let's see who gets scored this lap as the leader. Down to the line they come, but once again, it'll be Eddie.
Richie Gallup hanging right in there too. Ken Johnson doing a good job holding the 4th spot ahead of Bob Potter. Off the turn they come, and Ted now opens up a little daylight. Somebody sliding down the back stretch. Can't see it, who it is. It looks like Lloyd Agor in the 22. He manages to pull out, and a car goes spinning. It looks like Ken Johnson in the 53. Coming out of turn 2, Johnson loses it, and after his fine run, a problem. 3 flags still out as Johnson picks right up in the rear of the pack. Christopher, followed by brother Mike, and then Richie Gallup as the field now has spread out a great deal. And caution is now out. Up against the wall in between 1 and 2.
A happier season because the weather has not been kind to us, but we have seen some good racing tonight thus far. I reckon the best racing we've seen this season.
I say. Here's our green, and they're back underway. Ted gets a good jump on brother Mike. Richie Gallup down low. We'll see what he can do to break up this other combination. Here comes Richie in the 31. Let's see if he can make the move. He does. Gallup takes over the number 2 spot from Mike Christopher. Down the back stretch they roar, and Georgitis doing a good job hanging right in there in the 86. And he'll challenge Mike now as they come to the line for the halfway mark. Georgitis and Mike Christopher side by side heading into turn 1.
But let us not forget Bo Gunning, number 33, because he's now lying, in 6th and 7th position. He is stuck behind 5th placeman. No way he can get through at the moment. Let us not underestimate him because he is such a good driver. Bo Gunning, number 33, using our high line as he goes through turns 1 and 2. He's got nowhere else to go. He is stuck there. Give him an opportunity, he will nip through, but it's the Messrs. Christopher and Christopher with somebody who's spun at 22, I think.
Yes, Lloyd Agor spinning in turn 2, but he manages to pick right up and no caution flag. So the action continues as Richie Gallup closes in on our leader now. Bob Georgitis with an excellent run in 3rd place, followed by Mike Christopher. And a battle between Steve Shawansky in the 57 and Bo Gunning in the 33 for the number 5 spot. Here they come side by side in that 5th place battle to the line. Meanwhile, up front, Gallup once again all over Ted's back bumper. And you can bet that these two veterans are trying to outwit each other as they head into turn number 4.
And as they come out of turn 4, less than a length between them, a wheel between them, that's all. And such is the pace of their personal battle that they're pulling away from the remainder of the field. As you can see, we have about 25 yards between 2nd and 3rd placeman. Ted Christopher pulling away from Gallup slightly at the moment, coming into turn 4. And coming up to complete 2/3 of the distance. 20 laps comes up on the scoreboard. The order still remains the same. It's still Ted Christopher holding that lead.
Meanwhile, Bob Potter, our defending champion, having a tough go of it. He's in 16th place at the moment in car 51. So he's got a long way to go. Tom Tagg, who's had problems all night long, dropping out of the event in the 3-mass, and this is going to hurt his chances for the point championship. Down the backstretch once again, it's still Ted Christopher with a car length edge over Richie Gallup, then a sprint back.
Such success this season, Bo Gunning waiting for the opportunity to get through. At the moment he can't, he is balked. He's stuck behind those two cars, which are side by side. He's got nowhere else to go but sit on their tail and wait for the opportunity. In the meantime, 23 laps completed. Ted Christopher still holding the lead. He is being challenged, but it is still his credit at the moment. Number 13, Ted Christopher, holding the lead. Bo Gunning, number 30, Richie Gallup, number 31 in second place, right on his tail with nothing to choose between them. 24 laps completed. And they are tied together by a short, thin piece of string at the moment. On the back straight, less than a length between them, and now Richie Gallup is making his attack. Can it succeed? He takes a slightly higher line out of turn 4. Nose to tail. Left. And steaming past the back marker. Now Ted Christopher has the advantage because the back marker is between himself and Richie Gallup. A big advantage. Look at the gap between first and second place men. Now has extended. Now it's decreasing because Richie Gallup has managed to get past that slower car, the back marker, having lapped him. But he is still 5 or 6 lengths behind Ted Christopher. It's still Ted Christopher holding the lead. 27 laps completed, 3 to go. Ted Christopher it is. Richie Gallup still in second place. I don't think he's got a chance of doing it. Into third place, 86, it's Bob Georgiadis holding that third place. And 57, Steve Chawanski in fourth. On the last lap, onto the last turn. Ted Christopher onto the last turn. Ted Christopher takes the flag. Richie Gallup to second place. Bob Georgiadis to third. And 57, Steve Chawanski to fourth. That's the checkered flag. That is the unofficial, and I think will prove to be the official finishing order of this splendid race. My goodness me, what racing we've had this evening. Down to the strip to do the presentation ceremony to a very, very worthy winner, Ted Christopher. He takes his car in to be weighed and proven that all is okay, and which I'm sure it is. So Ronnie down on the start line. Over to see everything is as per regulations, which I'm sure it is. But
now he stops once again. Here he comes, heading for victory lane. Ted out of the car, and we'll get him over here and see what he has to say about that one. A fine performance all the way for Ted. Oh, nice going, Ted. Congratulations on a fine, fine win. Yeah. It's win number 3, but at this stage of the season, it's got to be certainly the most important one of the 3.
Yeah, it is, because we're really trying to run for the championship. Last week really hurt us a lot, but if we can keep finishing in front of the guys and win, maybe it'll all come around for still a couple more races left.
It was tough going in the beginning of the event until things got sorted out. What was on your mind in the early stages?
I just didn't want to get wrecked like last week in the early stages like that. And they were banging back and forth, and you could see by my front bumper it's totally junk, and I got hit from behind and stuff, and then into the guy in front of me. But yeah, the car was overheating towards the end. I don't really know why. I thought the spoiler might have been knocked in, you know, when I got in that wreck there.
Well, certainly an important victory for you, Ted, because Bo Gunning finished 6th, so you pick up 10 points on him. Bob Potter finished well back in the pack, so he only picked up a couple of points. So it's going to be very interesting.
Well, you know, we had a lot of motor problems this year. You know, 3 of the races we were running and we were in the top 5, and, you know, the motor blew up. We just really had a bad motor program this year. In the beginning of the year, it all started from Florida. But right now, things are starting to come along. We got a lot, you know, we got a couple motors. I got my other car as a backup with Kerry's driving. And I'd like to thank Billy the Kid for redoing this motor for me. It really works real well. And I'd like to thank my crew and my sponsors, Sanitary Services Corporation, Trash Away, the Window Shop, Moroso, and everybody else that helped. And Matt's Service with a smile. He supplies us with a lot of parts. So I really like to thank my crew that put a lot of long hours in to get this the way it's been going.
Well, I'm sure you have to agree with me, Ted. The next 2 weeks are going to be very interesting.
Yeah, they are. You know, we're going to keep driving the way we're driving. You know, try to be cautious, but my crew always tells me, you know, when you're up front, just keep going for the win, don't run for the points. You know, tomorrow we got a big 150 lapper at Waterford, and then we got another 30 lapper at Thompson on Sunday, so hopefully it'll round out a good week. Good start to the weekend.
That's for sure. Congratulations, Ted, on number 3.
Thank you very much.
Thing is, like you say, you could win that.